Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, we are proud to announce that Sabbat the Schism is officially out now. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder level powers, and much more. You can find your own copy of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoyed tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to youtube.com/@EriseGames or at twitch.tv/EriseGames. Alternatively, you can enjoy all our recorded sessions on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session. And without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. LA is shrouded in night as the day ends. Serena wakes up to see Olivia essentially arm open and removing some pitch black flesh that they toss on the ground. The flesh seems rotten, almost as if it's made of coagulated blood. And as this happens, Jack, you wake up, checking the results of your experiments and getting the results that you were given earlier this day.
I'm gonna see if anyone's up already. They should be, but maybe someone's not sleeping at the Haven.
As you check around the Haven, Jasper seems to be out. Abel has not spent the night here. and has left a small letter. Once you open it, you essentially read that he's been driving around looking for Isaac, and thus he's probably going to be more absent in the coming days. And looking around, you see Larry nowhere.
Meanwhile, Serena watches Olivia pick at the coagulated flesh for a while, till she sighs and gets out of bed and starts getting dressed. And as she's pulling on her coat, she looks. It's getting worse, isn't it?
Has been for a while.
Is it accelerating?
Exponentially.
Tell me if you need me to bring you anything, anyone.
I need to finish my work on time.
Well, do you need me? My aid?
Well, I've been listening. Odds are, eventually I'm going to need the body of a Tremere Elder to finish the tower.
Okay. Strauss?
Any elder would do. Strauss would be the most pleasing. And as Olivia says this, big chunk of black flesh begins to be pulled out and drops to the floor.
Either way, with I've divined a bit, and I believe that I've received an unexpected aid from founder of my lineage regarding our mission.
At that
Regarding
mention,
our mission.
At that mention, Olivia stops and looks up, then turns to you. What did you say?
I said that ever since I've been, since when we built the map, I've used Eyes of Chaos, and since then, every now and then I've been having, visions of, ironically enough, a big iris, and cracked glass and the moon. Very apt, don't you think? But either way, that time was when we were concerned about Oswald. And when I asked you and Jasper to look in the corner, it was, so to say, like a call to attention to inspire me to use Eyes of Chaos. Last night I've been dividing a bit to set up the meeting with Erise, and at first I thought it was when I tried to divide whoever is the primogen now of Malkavians, I thought it was, maybe about Talmahara, but I now understand that I was wrong. It wasn't them, it was, again, the big iris. Because basically, I've been shown that she can be convinced or manipulated in a way that the tower here will collapse. So I've basically, every now and then, I've been getting, hints of what to pay attention to, what I'm looking for. Eyes of Chaos, activating. And another strange thing, there are no Malkavians left in Santa Monica. Every single one has left. Because I've used the power that I recently gained from the Forest Witch to, secretly spy on what's going on, through, traveling through the sewers and, different places, and then using my connection with the plants to observe the area. So, yes.
And absolutely no Malkavians remain.
None. Not a single Malkavian in Santa Monica, and honestly, it's a bit concerning. Since, usually I'd say that is a sign of something coming there. Or, technically, it could be also a sign of Talmahara paying attention to that area. Or planning something. I mean, they're not exactly... I'd say... From what I understand, from what I've divined, our clan is not exactly amicable with them so much, with a few rare exceptions. So, my plan is we're going to be meeting both with Erise, with Jack. He'll be my lie detector. And we're going to be meeting with Dorothea too.
Well, Larry just landed on the roof. Maybe take him too.
Yeah. Aid will be definitely useful. Either way, there's rumors on the streets that Jeanette has taken over a number of high-profile figures in a Camarilla through political means, but those could be rumors, since Jeanette is Therese. But currently, their rise in numbers is, besides whatever we've managed to take out, is due to Sin Bloods, which is not an issue. Either way, I find these powers quite useful. A 10-kilometer radius from me, and any plant, any weed, any flower, any tree serves as my eyes.
I'm finding it quite alarming that, yes, you do have these powers, but at the same time, you seem to have an antediluvian whispering in your ear. That makes two of us. Maybe we won't have all that long to avoid Gehenna.
Wondered why. Camarilla believes that the main clan of Malkavian has joined them after convention.
Well, I'm not as familiar with your clan as I should be.
Well, but...
Perhaps you should explain this to the others as well.
Yeah, but my point is, Dominate is not the Malkavian clan's discipline. Demontation is. And the only place where demontation was left after the Convention of Thorns, until the Week of Nightmares, until the Red Star became visible, it was only in the Sabbat. The only way Camarilla Malkavians, like me, could develop it is by exposure to Sabbat Malkavians. My point I'm making, perhaps the main clan was with Sabbat all along. A grand trick, isn't it? And Iris does a wry laugh.
Perhaps it's time for that truth to be heard by the rest of them.
Well,
through your means.
do you mean within the pack, or?
I mean within the tower.
Oh. Hmm.
Like I said, we seem to be running out of time on all fronts.
Actually, Of course. And Serena bounces over to Olivia and gives her a very enthusiastic kiss on the lips, and then looks her in the eye and says, "You are a genius. You might have just like really cracked that vision. Dorothea is in Camarilla. She might be a dominate Malkavian. Exposure to me, you know what that means. That is how Malkavians come back to the fold." And Iris has like this big Malkavian smile, really excited, eyes twinkling.
Olivia just watches Serena with sort of a puzzled look for a moment and then says, I have to go. I'm
All right.
glad you're excited.
Serena just like touches her cheek and says, "Be careful, and if you need any aid, tell me."
If you spot any torpid usurper, be sure to bring him to me.
Of course. And Serena leaves the room, looking for Jack.
Jack will be probably like around your joint room, but like not knocking. If you're not out by this point, like he knows not to meddle.
And Jack.
Question, Miguel.
Yes?
Is moon infused Vitae like in blood in liquid form or in
Liquid.
Okay.
So you can freeze it after, but it's liquid.
Yeah.
As Serena exits, and Jack, you see Serena, you also spot Olivia leaving. And
1 second, please, Olivia.
hold on.
He pulls
One thing you definitely notice as Olivia leaves. First, a good chunk of their arm is missing. And second, Olivia is very visibly limping, although trying to hide it.
I've got my new hobby to the point where I try to infuse blood with moonlight. So, who's up for some who's up for some testing? I hold like 2 small vials.
Takes.
Huh?
Iris takes.
Yeah, Clan of the Moon after all.
Yep.
I'm okay to try some.
I hope
At this point, I don't think anything will make it worse.
Hopefully, it make it better.
Serena drinks.
Okay. Let me make a note. Did you have any empty?
Because I woke up.
Okay. So just one.
Yeah.
Got it. So make a note.
How much was it in there?
Well, you only
Blood
get
point.
one. You only get one because you only had one free. So make a note. On the side of 1 blood point. Next time you spend it, tell me. Olivia basically takes the bottle and says, well, it doesn't seem to have any effect on her. Once you know the side effects, I might try to drink it. I need to conserve my strength.
Serena at first was about to look at Olivia, was like that face, but then she was like, okay, yeah, fair enough.
By the way, I made some blood crystals with Tsimisi blood.
Please.
I'll retrieve the box.
Yep. And as you begin to run up the stairs, you spot Larry coming down the stairs from the rooftop.
Hi there. Be right back.
And Larry, you may join the main room.
I do.
Eventually, Jack exits the room with a small box. Would you care to describe the box, Jack?
It is kind of like repurposed cigar box, just like keep the atmosphere inside of it in check. But instead of like slots for cigars, it has slots for bloodstones, for lack of a better word.
Olivia takes it, opens it. How many are there?
5.
5. Olivia immediately takes 3 and pops them in their mouth. And as soon as you start hearing the cracking, there's sort of this almost muffled growl coming from Olivia's throat, and you see something shaking under the flesh. And after a few moments, Olivia opens their eyes and just says, "Oh, that does take the edge off."
I suppose we'd have to find mortals for that.
Quite a few more. Unfortunately,
Well,
unless it's
there is a purpose to their deaths.
Unfortunately, unless it's a diablerie, it has minimal effects. But it still helps.
Good to know.
I have to go now.
Just tell us if you need any help.
Yeah. And Olivia limps out of the haven, leaving the 3 of you alone.
That doesn't
Okay.
seem good.
I've got some news regarding our whole Dorothea and Therese situation. And despite what I previously thought it was, I don't think my visions last time, Jack, were about her being, like Dorothea being off Talmahara or something like that. It was Malkov.
As in Malkov giving you visions, or Malkov being
It was
Dorothea?
Malkov drawing my attention.
I see.
The eye. It is always a big eye. I should, eyes of
Sounds like
chaos
it.
activating and a big eye in a vision. I should already be more used to it, so to say. So here's the thing. And she looks to Larry. Tell me, what do you guys know? Are the Malkavians in the Sabbat anti-tribute?
Well,
As you ask this question, Serena, a door, the front door seems to open, and in walks Jasper carrying essentially a medical bag, and behind him walks the test subject, looking a bit emaciated, carrying a box of materials.
Well, and Jasper, tell me, since you were through Sabbat before your unfortunate long trip to the Shadowlands, the Malkavians in the Sabbat, are they anti-tribute?
tricky question. I assume tricky question.
No. Just tell me what you know. I'm not. We're not saying here tricky and so on. Plus, Tony, out of character, it would be what Tony would know in character.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, in character to general knowledge, anti-tribute Malkavians are Sabbat or Anarchs.
Well. Also, do Sabbat have the anti-tribute?
Look.
Which no, Jack. Just like plain yes, no. I'll get to it later.
I guess yes,
Cool. Okay. Now, what do you guys know about the Convention of Tours and the Dominate Malkavians?
I've heard about great prank happening
Okay, so
somewhere
here's
after that, but
yes. So
what
here's
the
the deal.
dividing point, I don't know.
Okay, so here's the deal. Camarilla claims that the main clan belongs with them. The
Mhm.
thing is,
Yes.
after the convention, soon after, the so-called Great Prank occurred, and half of the Malkavians lost dementation. And the rest, and those who lost instead learned Dominate. Guess to which sect those Malkavians belonged, or rather, with which they stayed. Camarilla. Every single other, probably, maybe not every single other, but most other Malkavians went to the Sabbat, those who stayed with Dementation. Dementation Malkavians went with the Sabbat. Now, which discipline belongs to the Malkavians, Dementation or Dominate?
I have a feeling it's not dominate.
Now, here's another fun
Dominate is
fact.
kind of beneath you.
Here's another fun fact. Do you know that I started as a Dominate Malkavian? Because I was of Camarilla bloodlines.
You mentioned
know-
about being in Camarilla. Yeah.
Now, the reason I got Dementation before the mass awakening of Malkavians to it, though not all of them, but still many during the week of night, the reason I got it is through exposure to a Sabbat Malkavian. My sire had one captured and kept imprisoned in his asylum. Despite his advice, I, of course, went to talk with her. And all, never using a single power on me, that single talk awoke me back to my clan's original discipline, Dementation. So, all the way until the week of nightmares in the 1990s, 1999, the one way that Dementation would return to a Malkavian born of Dominate bloodlines was through contact with a Sabbat, Dementation Malkavian, which were mostly Sabbat. That is what we were taught in Camarilla, that any Malkavian with Dementation is 100% Sabbat. There's no other way, because most of them were with a Sabbat. Now question, if the Sabbat has the majority of Malkavians with their clan's original discipline, while the Camarilla claims the other one, and mind you, the Dementation Malkavians were half, the other Dominate ones were more or less, who knows, they say about the half as well, but probably spread between the Anarchs eventually and Camarilla. Who is the main clan? Who has the main clan? Because it seems to me that the Sabbat was founded with not two clans, but 3. But now you might be asking, why am I talking about this fun little history lesson, right? And it all comes back to Dorothea.
Who's gonna talk with you?
Well, first of all, it's this thing that Olivia told me that truly explains the vision that Malkav gave me. That tower that he showed me above which he observed, there was a small black brick. And when I touched the brick, it got covered in all kinds of chaotic patterns. You know, like I spread something to it. Now, the Dorothea, the fact that this brick is Dorothea was very obvious because Malkav forced Eyes of Chaos on me during divination, and I carved her name with a knife, and Karina walks very briskly to the kitchen and points towards the name.
At this point, as Serena goes to point out the name, You see test subject number 4 trying to clean it off, and then noticing Serena and just stepping back. And what all of you see is on the floor, Dorothea carved in very jagged lines, clearly using some sort of blade on the floor.
The point is, after that time when I've did that divination in the shadows of the map, Malkov has been checking in regularly.
Yeah.
Practically every time I've been using Eyes of Chaos. And now during divination as well. And another thing. So, before our meeting with Therese, Jack, I went to the Santa Monica and I've hung about sewers in different locations, spying on them through the plans. There is not a single Malkavian left in Santa Monica.
Including Worman?
No, except her.
Mm.
There is no other Malkavian left. And
Where'd he
that,
go? That's the question I'd like to know.
well, there are two options. One, they were killed, and we can ask Therese about that. Two, they left.
Either to the family or to Camarilla.
Well, no, not so. No, that's not what I mean. They left. They didn't go somewhere specifically. I meant they left Santa Monica. Because something's about to happen there.
That's very insightful of them.
Well, that is the nature of our clan. Oracles, mad Cassandras, lunatics, cursed to speak the truth, and rarely believed.
Oh, I believe you. No.
Have no other choice. You've seen it unfold. Point
I
is,
still can question your words, but I generally believe.
point is, another of my suspicions about why they're leaving is probably connected to the same reason why Tal Mahara tried to recruit me. And
Because their Malkavian left.
no, they might have left.
As in-
No. What I mean is that Tal Mahara, aka Rourke, remember, he also wanted that, because that place comes with the title of Archbishop, which we don't want him to have. And if Malkavians left, it might be because, they feel the cobweb warning them of that coming in, which means we need to move quicker. But we will be meeting.
Then.
We will be meeting both.
Sure. Who's first?
We will be meeting first Dorothea.
Very well. Did I get the place from Taffington for the meeting?
You got a contact.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever set up a meeting using that contact? Because I don't think you
Not
ever
really.
contacted through that phone. So
Then allow me. I'll dial the number, put it on loud.
in the meantime, as Jack is dialing this number, Larry and Jasper, how do you react to the statements being made?
Larry is listening and doing a Sigma face, of course.
Actually, then Serena remembers. Also, Olivia was of the mind that it is time to let it be publicly known that the main clan of Malkavians has never been part of Camarilla.
The disruption is the foundation for new stuff, so I guess. It's not like we haven't fucked up a lot of plans for somebody else.
Serena looks to Jasper. What do you think?
Jasper seems a little bit lost in his thoughts.
Jasper, Jasper, can you bump up your mic a bit, please? You're very, very quiet.
What about now? Is it better?
A little. So could you repeat what you said?
Jasper seemed a little bit unfocused while you were saying those things.
Okay, yeah, it's a bit quiet. We'll try to fix that in the background. In the meantime,
Cyril,
please roleplay.
Cyril looks to Larry.
Fuck,
Oh my
Jasper,
God.
you doing the shit.
Cyril looks to Larry. So, during my spying, there was word on the street that Jeanette, well, as we know her, Therese, had taken over a number of high-profile pictures and profile figures in Camarilla through political means. Have you heard anything of that?
No,
It would be good
but
to
our
know.
political business doing much better than ours. That much I can say.
Well, because she is Therese there. Have you contacted Oswald? Is he? Or is he still?
He is not responding.
Okay. We're gonna have to set up that Nosferatu meeting. We do have some letters to provide. By the way, did your servant provide any information about Amadeus? Jack?
What question, Albert? But Miguel is busy right now, so
Apologies.
Is-
What?
it's okay. Would Albert said anything about Amadeus back in time? Back in the day?
We basically, Jack was supposed to ask Albert about whether Delmont had deals with Amadeus and so on.
Definitely Delmont dealt with Amadeus, mainly providing him knowledge and resources to move ahead in the ranks. That said, he was never put in the position of Primogen. He was mainly put in the position of someone who was influential and who eventually
that's-
would be placed on a higher position
Yeah.
ahead of
but-
Primogen.
Yeah, but that's
that's
not
about it.
exactly the question. No, what we were interested in, whether Amadeus made any deals like we did.
Like, is there a
With Delmont.
documentation on it?
There isn't
well,
any
first of all-
documentation on it. However, Albert would definitely tell you there were deals made. There were contracts made.
So the same way that we had.
Yes. Sort of. Albert can't really say
and-
the details because he's not a necromancer.
Yeah.
Yes. But would he have known if Delmont made any deals with or conversations about Amadeus or like Amadeus's fall with somebody else?
Well, given the fact that Albert was out of his containment very rarely, no, he can't really tell you that. He wasn't meant to hear anything he wasn't supposed to, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
We have some form of eyewitness.
Okay, we do have something to start working with, and perhaps that whole information will be enough for the Nosferatu to find further proof to the fact that Amadeus never betrayed them. And fix that feud. either way. But first we should deal with
Dorothea.
Dorothea. Or maybe. Here's the thing. Therese already has her dementation and all that. So if by any chance, and that's what I'm currently thinking, is that Dorothea does not have dementation, which is why when I touched that brick, which was meant to represent Dorothea, it got filled with these, abstract patterns. If dementation was a painting made of symbols, that's what it would be. So perhaps if Dorothea suddenly awakens to dementation, it'll be something that Therese will be able to feel. So perhaps it would be best if we first meet Therese and then straight up we meet Dorothea. I would be able to meditate and guide my mind, shield my mind, but on the other hand, none of you would be that protected. Jack, do you have any protections over your mind?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well,
I can replay some embarrassing memories over and over.
No. What I mean is, well, actually, we did want to find a way to imbue something with a power, right?
Sort of.
Like a rock that could be used by somebody else, not the caster. Perhaps before the meeting with... Let's do the Dorothea meeting first, and with Therese, before that, we will try and quickly, like develop some means of transferring my cage of secrets once to you as well.
Okay.
That way your minds will be shielded just like mine. So she will not be able to read it like she did before for Sosimo and me.
Well, depends on how deep she can dig. The simplest solution would be that I replace some really awkward stuff or awful stuff. Keep in mind, I had a demon in my head for a couple of months.
You're gonna have to practice that with me and see how it works.
Sure.
Because remember, for example, let's say she hears about us meeting Dorothea and she asks us about it. Like, she wouldn't be... maybe she'd try me first, but then she'd get burned. If it's really well said, then she'd be... Well, I don't think she'd be able to use that again on you, but let's see, she tries using it on you as she's asking you that. Whatever your mind brings up remembers, she'll be able to see it. That's how it works, okay? That's why when I do it, I ask questions. All I need is to ask, do you know this person? Let's say Kian. To see if that person knows Kian. Actually. It works in whatever they're thinking about currently. But the thought process is, you're not exactly fully in control of it. And neither of us here are experts in Buddhism or clearing the mind. So there will be things that your brain will basically bring up and, say, like a Google search.
Yeah.
Right then, let's set up the meeting with Dorothea, and I'll set up the meeting with Therese.
Sure.
And I'm going to text Therese, meeting in a week.
The text is sent. It's seen, but the answer doesn't come right away.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, if I see that she's not calling to read, press and call.
Mm-hmm. The number rings, and after a few rings, it clicks, and you hear the voice of a woman. Who's this?
My name's Jack.
Jack who?
Jack, who wants to have a meeting with you, went through some lengths and believes that
Are you with them?
this meeting with them who?
The ones who are watching.
No. I'm more of I go guy. You know, sort of kind of fall where I please.
Say I trust you. What do you want?
I want to have a meeting with you that can be beneficial to you.
When?
The exact moment you can. If you can tonight, we can do it tonight.
Maybe. I'll...
Sure.
You can hear echoing in the background. Just pacing and
Over.
and tapping.
I'm gonna walk over, and I'm gonna say, that I too shall be on the meeting, a fellow member of our clan, and one who has dealt with those who are watching for a very, very long time now.
No. If you're a member of our clan, I should be able to have another type of contact with you. You gotta prove it.
Yes.
You gotta prove it.
Okay.
Prove it.
Okay.
She's gone.
I'm going to send her. I'm going to send her. Hunger Games. Basically, the lead
The whistle.
heroine. The song. Are you coming to the tree? Are you coming to the tree?
Mm-hmm. And again, you hear from the other side, like tapping and pacing, and almost a bit of a noise that makes you think she's shaking rhythmically. And at some point, the tapping sort of starts following your rhythm. And she seems to be listening to your end for something.
Are you coming to a tree? They say they strung up a man, and Iris starts singing that song.
Yeah,
They say over the tree.
and the tapping stops. And then you just hear 3 hours. There's a cafe in downtown. I'll send you an address.
We might not be the best guest up there.
Downtown or nowhere.
Sure.
And there's a click and the call turns off.
Well, boys, you gotta polish your suits. We're gonna visit the big players.
Right, I'm off to change this up a bit in a quick way, and Iris goes to her room and looks for some of her scalps of hair to replace the red hair.
Mm-hmm. And as we do this, we'll take a very quick break just to fix some problems in the background with Jasper's mic. And we'll be right back. Apologies for the inconvenience.
See you around.
So, as Serena goes off to prepare herself for the meeting, Jasper, you notice that the subject, still quite emaciated, seems to bump up back onto his feet, putting a rather dirty rag on the table, and then saying, Master Jasper, I couldn't clean the floor. It keeps getting dirty. I don't know why. And how many people in the room currently have hunger, their hunger levels at half?
I'm more.
More than half?
Like I have
Full
10 out of
or
10 out of 15.
okay, then
Or
you're
9.
fine. Jasper and Larry, do either of you have less than half of your blood pool? Or half of your
I
blood?
don't know. I was mangled, but I don't know if I restored since the last session.
Up to you, but that would empty 5 blood points per dot healed of ag. And
oh,
one
no, it's
per
lethal.
each. Yeah, if it's another type of damage, you can heal it 1 blood point per. Plus spend 1 for waking up.
Easy. -1 cow. No, I'm at full almost. -1.
Okay. Jasper?
Same.
Same? Okay. So all of you smell it, but you manage to compose yourselves. You smell blood in the air as the guy speaks.
Did he just try to wipe the floor so good he wiped his fingers of it too much?
Did he do that?
Well, you check, his hands are fine. The rag seems to be a bit bloody. And when you look back at him, he seems to be a bit sluggish, and you start noticing blood drops falling from his nose. Quite a few, actually.
I take a closer look, like almost a medical exam, looking to see what's the problem exactly.
Does it seem like he has a stroke? Like,
Roll
I've
me
seen some people with stroke, but like just visually.
wits and medicine, please.
Ooh, have no medicine, so Lord have
That's
mercy.
higher difficulty then.
Just sounds like he's having a fucking stroke.
He has eaten the fucking blood. What do you mean?
I have
what
ate.
the fuck? What stroke?
When you eat blood, you
3
don't have bloody
successes.
nose.
Okay, so Jack and Jasper, both of you, whatever's going on, it's either some type of rupture on the vessels on his nose, or there's something really, really wrong with his brain. And when stuff like this starts happening, it can be very, very, very bad, like emergency hospital bad.
Oh, this is not looking good.
It's looking really not good.
I don't understand.
Follow
And as
I tell him to follow the fucking finger.
yeah,
Nice.
he starts following the finger, and as you move it to the side, he follows it, and then his eyes continue after you stop the finger, and then he just starts dropping to the floor.
Yeah.
Jasper will
you have a
hold,
couple of
so
minutes.
Jasper
I
will.
don't know what. I hold him so he doesn't hit his head on the floor.
Mm-hmm. You managed to break his
I don't
fall,
know.
basically.
I don't know what to do. It would be such a waste to let go of him, and there's the option that Serena wants him. Should we call Serena to see if she wants anything to do with him?
Serena? Her room's not far.
Serena walks out fucking no scalp, just holding 2 fucking scalps. What? Just kidding.
Serena walks up just like, like fixing up like a short bob of black hair, and you can see her like smoothing out edges on her forehead. What?
Number 4 decided to die tonight, so have a blast.
If number 4 is dying, any embrace that's happening to him right now will like keep him in the state that he is. You realize that?
Yes, I do. But if you want to open his brain while he's doing that.
Have you given him blood?
I'll just
Jasper.
point out, since Jasper got enough successes, the guy fell to the ground. He still has a pulse, though.
Have you? Serena just like rolls her eyes, walks over to number 4, and like slits open her palm with the ring, and pours blood into his mouth.
The blood falls into his mouth, and very, very slowly, you start seeing his eyes that sort of rolled back into his head. They're like very fluttering blinks, and then he seems to sort of nudge.
She keeps her hand on his mouth and says, "Start healing yourself." And then she looks to Jasper. Well, it seems that whatever you did, while it was really working his brain over time at first, it was way too much for a mortal body, which most likely means that whatever blood you've been giving him, he might have been burning it out just to stabilize himself. And given his emaciated look, given his emaciated look, I'm guessing that whatever you did to the brain is actually consuming so much energy that his body is unable to support it. Which means, and she's still keeping the hand off of him and like takes a look to subject number 4 and says, "Start healing and don't complain. Not like you're gonna like me more than you like Jasper. This is just a healing and a lesson to your master about
Cautionary tale.
You do notice that while he's regained some awareness, he's not complaining, not commenting, he's just listening.
Yes.
It probably doesn't help also that he is HIV positive.
Mostly, which means that, with that, I wonder, would he... I don't know what in the embrace, if that would be even, like, reasonable, because... wonder if he's still gonna be able to spread it as a vampire just from a bite. That would be a massive... Well, it's not technically
It's
a
gonna be a
silence of
problem.
blood, but it's a problem. Either way, you picked one. He's HIV positive, which means his immune system is already compromised. You did a change. And that brain that you've altered, once Serena thinks that, like, she basically gives him to drink maybe, like, 2 points of blood. By the way, that's a moon blood.
Okay, Okay, so, basically what happens, as you begin to feed him, as soon as he seems a bit healthier, he begins to, move forward and gives you a nod for you to stop pouring. And as you do, he braces himself up. And as he does, allow me to double check something on your sheet. All right. So as he does, he looks to you, Serena, and says, "Thank you, ma'am." And Serena, what is the emotion you're feeling currently? The main one.
Main one? Annoyance and Jasper's lack of understanding of like mortal biology.
Okay.
Like
This
it's annoyance at
annoyance,
Jasper.
this
Yeah.
annoyance is now going to be multiplied tenfold, and then brought to an extreme on top of that. As you recognize what the fuck just happened. Somehow,
Wait.
without really learning it, he just used .1 of dementation.
I'm gonna push that down because now I'm like my main emotion is switches to like the fact that interesting reaction. And Serena looks like over him. Seems you would do well with another master. And then she looks to Jasper. Since it seems the subject number 4 has developed just first level dots of dementation.
Excuse me, the fucking what?
Well, you
What?
know, ghouls can do that.
He drank not enough of your blood to do that.
Yes,
He
but what
drank
did
your
I?
blood.
But what did I drink
once.
earlier? But what did I
Yes,
drink earlier,
You
Jack?
drank the,
The
fucking
moon.
blood.
Moon-infused blood.
Clan of the moon.
Interesting. I kind of quite like it.
It is effective. Gonna give you that. I
Either
believe
way,
Olivia wouldn't like it.
what?
Blood of the moon?
Well, we don't know how it affects other clans. It affected him the way it did because I drank it and then gave him my blood. Either way, that's not the point. Test subject number 4. Do you have currently enough blood in your system to heal the damage that was done to your body due to the HIV and the advanced brain modification that is no doubt eating up all the nutrients since your brain is consuming now
I
far
believe
more.
all the damage has been healed, yes.
Right. What is your consumption? What is your current consumption of energy? You estimate. How much has your brain increased the consumption?
It would be hard to say. I was never a good biologist, but I could read a few volumes on it and make an educated assumption.
Perhaps right now, given the fact that your brain is working overtime, that would be.
Do you feel like much hungrier than normal?
Yes, though I am unable to consume any food.
Have you tried raw meat?
I have. I just puke whatever I eat back up. Blood has been the only thing sustaining me for the past few weeks.
I see. Well,
I mean-
well, try not to overuse your brain today. I'll make a decision. And she looks to Jasper. I'll make a decision later. Currently, we have other things to worry about.
I believe that decision is for Mr. Jasper to make.
Yes, the decisions that he's already handed over you to me.
He has not.
He has.
I still serve Master Jasper.
And Serena just like lifts up test subject number 4 by the neck
Yeah, I would assume so.
and says, "Now, mortal, let me remind you, in this pack, I am the pack priest. And right now I've been called from my business to see whether your expiring body would be of interest to me in my experiments. Needless to say that I actually do know fully how to fully cleanse your blood of Jasper's blood, but I am not doing it. But if you show this much lip to me again, given the fact that you were about to expire and your master told me to come and see whether I would like to do anything with you or not, I am just as well entitled to break your neck right now because it is my blood that you're having and it is my powers that you're having. Do you understand or not? And she drops him on the ground.
Okay. As you drop him on the ground, he seems to cough, struggling quite a bit. You definitely did.
No, I didn't like hold
You
him.
lifted
like,
him
like,
by the neck. It's really hard to do that to a mortal without damaging
Fine.
his vocal cords and severely strangling him in the process. There's a reason why,
Perhaps I was more annoyed. So I could
Her
have
annoyance has been multiplied.
Yeah, but it was earlier. So, please, remember yourself. You were dying and you were handed over to me. And now that you have my clan's powers, I am free to do with you as I wish. Because last thing I need is somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they've just gained, running around and using it willy-nilly. This is not a discipline for the weak-minded or the weak-willed, and something to be allowed on a mortal without proper training.
After coughing a few times, the subject simply says, I believe by your